All right, we're getting some more breaking news. The government to reintroduce the bill to grant constitutional status to National Commission for Backward Classes in Lok Sabha in the winter session. The same bill was introduced in the last parliament session, but it was stalled. It will bring the National Commission for Backward Classes at par with the National Commissions for SCs and STs. Yes, this is the big news. This is one of the key legislations that will be reintroduced in the winter session. The government going to push this. The government will try and pass the National Commission for Backward Classes bill in the Lok Sabha. And they want constitutional status for the National Commission for Backward Classes bill. And this bill was also introduced in the last parliament session, but there were protests and the bill was stalled. And the move, if it goes through, will bring the National Commission for Backward Classes on par with the National Commission for SCs and STs. Yes, let's get you more details of this. We're getting to know from our top sources that the government will be reintroducing a bill to grant constitutional status to the National Panel for Backward Classes, and this will bring the NCBC at par with the National Commission for SCs and STs. So the winter session, which is now approaching, this will be one of the key legislations there at that point in time. The government will push this. And Abhishek Kapoor, our executive editor, breaking the story. He will be with us in a little while from now. Aishwarya will be joining us as well. But this is the big news. We can explain to our viewers that the government will be reintroducing the bill to grant constitutional status to the National Commission for Backward Classes in the Lok Sabha in the winter session of Parliament. The same bill was introduced in the last Parliament session but was stalled as well. Remember, we've seen a lot of ruckus by the opposition over the winter session. They have been asking as to why the winter session has not been announced so far. All right, it's time to get you more news from around the country. There have been violent protests at the Satyabama University in Chennai. Let's start with that and much more in our national news. Yes, days after violent protests broke out following a student's suicide at the Satyabama University in Chennai, the university has been temporarily shut down by the management until 1st of January. Semester exams too have been postponed. In response to the RTI, the Ministry of Home Affairs confirmed that there is no township plan for the Kashmiri Pandits as of now. The government has fallen back on its promise to Kashmiri Pandits. The United States has condemned the violence against Rohingyas, calls Myanmar violence ethnic cleansing. The US State Department also welcomed exchanges between Myanmar government